Hello guys, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be talking about what I was trying to do over the weekend and how I actually got to doing it. So this weekend I actually wanted to host a LAN party and well, this weekend, speaking about the previous weekend, which is the 13th and the 12th, people coming to this LAN party actually requested to play CSGO or CS2. Now, if you don't know anything about CSGO and the differences between CS2, well, CSGO is actually based on the original Source engine, and CS2 is actually based on consequently the second one, so that's the 2 in the name. So you'd be asking, why play CSGO instead of the upgraded, you would imagine, CS2? Now, me personally, I actually don't play CS2 anymore because, since its release, I did start realizing that its experience of CS2 is actually way worse than the experience of CSGO. So, since that time, I've tried to find new ways of actually playing this game, enjoying this game, and most likely, if you ever want to play CSGO in the way you remember it, it's through a LAN party. Now, it's not saying that you should play at LAN parties because there's other ways to play the game as well. But yeah, that's involving connecting to custom servers, which by the name, they are custom and they are going to be a little different from what you usually expect from servers. Unless, of course, you actually know a person who's hosting it, or you specifically want to join a server which is not modded to ever live in hell. CS2. Now, how do you actually download CSGO? So because Valve actually, so we all view Valve as this really nice company to gamers, but they are actually also kills their own games, and I believe CSGO still has a lot of features that are not available in CS2. Now, maybe you don't think these features are important, but I know for sure that I do like playing some Dust 2 on my own when I'm at home and doing nothing. Of course, how do you actually do this? Well, first of all, you're going to have to activate CSGO Legacy. So, how do you actually do that? And this is the same across Windows, macOS, and also Linux. I mean, I didn't test macOS, but I basically think it should be the same. If it's not the same, please tell me in the comments. So yeah, so other people also know that it's not the way how it works. So here we go. We're going to go up to Manage, and we're going to go to Properties if you have CS2 in your library. If not, add it to your library and then just do the same. So what do you have to do? We're just going to skip all of this. We're going to go right towards what's it called? Oh yeah, here we go. We go to the betas. And as you can see, we've got the beta participation, and by default it's going to be on none, but you want to set this to legacy version of CSGO right here, and it'll start downloading if you don't have it, and it will also show you this. Now, on Windows it's pretty trivial, and I don't know how it is on macOS, but on Linux, and if you're watching on Linux, you'll have to watch this part, and if you're on Windows, you can skip it, because what will happen on Windows, you'll press this button and it will show you to launch CS2 or CSGO. Now on Linux it's not like that, I don't know why, but yeah. So if you're on Linux, keep watching. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to go back to this settings menu, you're going to go to browse local files, and what you're going to do here is you're actually going to see this csgo.sh, and you're going to make sure you can copy the location, and then we'll go up to Steam's add a game thing and add a non-Steam game. Now when you add a non-Steam game, it'll bring you a list of programs, but I don't think you're going to find the actual sh file here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to actually want to copy this in here, and yeah, it'll basically add the game. So yeah, as you can see here, you've got csgo.sh added. And yeah, you're just going to press add selected programs, and it will actually show the game on the list. Now, I've already done this, and I've already customized the whole thing, so yeah, I'm not going to add it another time, but here we go. Let's go to exactly what I've done here. So as you can see, we've got CS actually CSGO, which is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, installed here. Now I've got the artwork and like logos going, and so how do you get the artwork going? You go to this website called Steam Grid DB, and you just search up Counter-Strike. What's wrong with my typing today? Global Offensive might be the heat wave. Okay, here we go. So you're going to search up Counter-Strike Global Offensive here, and what you're going to see is a lot of like options. I went with this one, or did I go with that one? I don't even remember. Just basically Google up Counter-Strike Global Offensive Steam page, and it will just bring up something you will see. And yeah, you just pick from these, you go to grids, you pick from these, and then you go to heroes, you pick from these, you go to logos, you pick and choose from these ones, and then icons. And you're basically good to go after that. So if you don't remember, back in 2023, September 2023, and this is where you can actually start watching from Windows, CS2 was actually really intensive compared to CSGO. As you can see, I was running a, let's just pop up the graphics here. I mean, not the graphics, the video quality. As you can see, I was running a i7-6950X, which is not really the most powerful gaming CPU in the world, especially for gaming. It's just like a workstation, like multi-core beast. But yeah, 90 FPS on something that has a 4 GHz core is not really, yeah, it's not exactly what you expect, right? I mean, it's highest settings, but as you can see, we're not even GPU limited. So what's going on here is actually CS2 is way more intensive on the CPU. So if you've got like old systems like Core 2 Duos and stuff like that, you would want to actually play CS2 because no, CS:GO, because like as far as I can remember, I mean, I did used to play CS:GO on like a Core 2 Duo system, which had, I mean, for 512 megabytes of RAM, and yeah, it didn't run great, but it ran at 40 FPS, and it was, and I can guarantee you, this game, which is actually consuming 5.4 gigabytes of VRAM, I mean, of course, on highest settings, and we can go ahead and see lowest settings here, which is 3.8 gigabytes. That's not going to be on 512. There's no way you're going to add that and it's going to work on 512 megabytes of VRAM. So yeah, we can also search up the actual system requirements. So as you can see here, we've got the CSGO system requirements. It says Windows 7 Vista XP. So you can already see how well this is, like in terms of optimization. Intel Core 2 Duo E6600 or AMD Phenom X3, basically dual cores, and we've got 2 gigs of RAM, which by the way was what I was running it on in 2019. It was fine. It was not the best, but it was fine. I couldn't play Danger Zone because that was too intensive, but like Dust 2, your casual office, bro, no questions asked, it just plays as well as it could. So video card with at least 256 megabytes. Now I didn't try 256 megabytes, but yeah, you need like a DirectX 9 compatible with the support of Pixel Shader 3.0. Now when you get to old graphics cards, you really have to see if yours supports this, because yeah, it gets a little too, it's kind of necessary to prove that these work. And you've got 15 gigabytes of available save space. Now these are, maybe they have changed, but I can tell you for sure a Core 2 Duo can still run this game, and especially if you overclock the E6600, it's going to run it at like 70 to 100 FPS as well. So that's really cool. Now if we go to see CS2 requirements, yeah, it's a whole another story. And by the way, this is not actually true. I mean, you can run it on this, but it's not going to be a good experience, at least as good of an experience as you can run it on the Core 2 Duo, comparatively, of course. And you need 8 gigs of RAM, a video card with at least 1 gigabytes of VRAM, and as you can see in the video, that's not actually true. 85 gigs of storage. I mean, yeah, why not? The OS should be Windows 11. Intel Core 2, Core i7 9700, AMD Ryzen 7, 16 gigs of RAM, and these are the requirement one, like the recommended requirements, right? See this? I mean, it really makes you think, is it actually requiring this? Like, do you mean, like, is this actually minimum, or is this like something you're lying about? Because like, what the hell, is such a contrast here. And the RTX 2070 as the recommended GPU. Now, all this jabbering aside, you can see why you need CSGO in some cases, right? So yeah, let's get into how exactly we're going to actually configure to actually play online from now on. So what you need to do is you're going to go back to the page of CS2, and we're actually going to open up the local files. Now this procedure is the same on every single system. You can see I am running Linux, but it doesn't really matter as long as you know where to go. And I'm going to tell you exactly where to go. So as you can see, it's the file structure. Now if you're on macOS, it's going to be different, but the general folder structure is going to be the same. Now the UI is different, but everything else should be the same. If it's different, please tell me in the comments down below, but I can tell you for sure on Windows and Linux it's exactly the same. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go to CSGO, and we're going to go down to this file called steam.inf. So steam.inf, and this is going to be the same file on Windows. If you don't see the .inf, you have like file name extensions disabled. And what you're going to need to do in that case is you're just going to have to search for the file called Steam, and it's just going to bring a INF file in the description if you have those long descriptions. Basically, it's a Steam file. I don't think there's other Steam files in this folder, so yeah, just search for it and you'll find it. And if you open it up, you'll see a text file basically like this. Now as you can see, this 1575, right, this thing would be here if I didn't fix the game. So as you can see, I had a different number there. This is how it would be by default. So the client version number would be 1575, and the server version number would also be 1575. Now how do you actually fix the game here? You basically change this number to 2058. So I believe that is, yeah, just change it to 2,258,000, and you get to go. You save a file, and you actually boot up CS2. Now if you're on Windows, just like I said before, you can just play it from here. It will ask you CSGO or CS2, but if you're on Linux, you go to this page, which is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which we actually pointed to the actual SH file to actually launch it that way. You just press play, and sooner or later you will actually see that this game is actually launching. So it doesn't actually launch this, it actually launches CS2 for some reason. Now I don't know why, but yeah. And here we go, we've got the blank screen here, that means it's launching. And if it doesn't say Valve, that basically means you're actually booting into CSGO. So as you can see here, we've got CSGO booting, and you've got the nostalgic. Yeah, I didn't expect to have a nostalgia for 2023. And as you can see, and if you've booted up this game a little earlier, like without the actual config file, the INF file changed, you'd see like some UI changes. For example, I think this was blue, this text up here was blue, but yeah, now it's actually yellow. I don't know how that like makes sense, but anyway. And we've got this message here. It just says that this is the legacy version of CSGO. Support will end for it on January 1st. Now we actually circumvented this with the actual file change in the Steam INF. And yeah, we just go ahead and press OK. And yeah, we're basically in. You can see this familiar and nostalgic actual video settings menu here, which is very cool. And you can see the actual frame counter in the CSGO style. And we got the play CSGO as well here. And we've got these servers. Now, how do you actually join or connect to a server doing this. So if you want to connect to LAN, you'll have to skip towards the next part of the video, but in this part we're actually going to be talking about how to connect to custom servers. Now, if you don't know what custom servers are, they're basically servers maintained by the community, which you can connect to. And by the way, make sure you have the step with the steam.inf file done, but otherwise you're not going to be able to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to community server browser and we're going to open it up again. Now it's going to be prompting you with this screen. You're just going to press OK, and as you can see here, where's my mouse pointer? All right, here we go. Alright, so we've got the internet tab, we've got favorites, history, spectate, and so on. So as you can see, we've got this server right here. This one I can tell you for sure is a Dust2 CSGO server, but like if you go to the actual community server, it's going to be hard to find CSGO servers. Now, I don't exactly know how to find them, so if someone does know, please tell me in the comments down below. And for me, honestly, when I checked out every single server I checked out on the other PCs during a LAN party, I didn't really get an experience that was on par with the actual nostalgic experience of playing CSGO another time. So what I do recommend is actually, if you do want to play online, you can go ahead and do so. But if you do want to play something that you can enjoy with your friends, I do recommend playing LANs. So yeah, that said, let's actually go and see how you actually connect to LAN games, or actually start a LAN server. So first of all, what you have to do to start the LAN server, and this goes to say about every single system, you basically choose your map from all of these, and you can go to war games as well, you can go to casual, you can also do danger zone, which involves actually running a command of actually opening up a danger zone world. So if you want to run danger zone, you can actually go and run these, which it will actually boot you into the game. And I believe, I haven't tried, but it should be a multiplayer game, so you can actually connect with your friends. And you can also do this to actually run like other maps, stuff like that, and yeah. So you can also customize, you can add bots, you can remove them, make sure this open party is actually checked, because I don't know, I haven't actually tried disabling it, but the way I tried it was with an open party. No one from this list, so no one from your friends list will be able to actually connect. But yeah, that really doesn't matter. You're on LAN anyway, so yeah, it is what it is. So you can also see here that we have like team versus team, free for all, classic. We can go to casual, which is the actual diffuse, and you can check random, so you can actually go through every single map during the game. So play like the actual CS2 days. And you can also check random here, you can go to war games, you can go to wingman, you can do everything basically. Now, how exactly do you, and yeah, what you do to actually start the server is you just press go. Now we're not actually going to start a server on this PC, but yeah, it's just as simple as that. But if you do start the server, now I'm going to show you the version of this whole process on Linux, Mac, and also Windows. What you're going to need to do to actually connect to a server hosted on the local network is you actually have to know what IP address it's using. So you're just going to go for IP ADDR, and as you can see here, we've got all of the devices listed. Now you're going to have to find your own device. Actually, I recommend using fast fetch at this point. Here we go. If you don't have fast fetch, go ahead and try to find your actual wireless adapter, which in my case I think it's this one, right? Let's see, yeah, it's this one. So as you can see, 192.168.1.34. So we can also use fast fetch to actually see this, and here we go, 192.168.1.34. Now on Windows, you actually run the command called ipconfig, and using ipconfig, it will actually show you the IP address it's running on, and you just basically remember that. You mostly have to remember the last base numbers, like the .1 or 34 or 1.16, whatever, and yeah, you're basically good to go. Now on macOS as well, you can also run fast fetch, or you can actually run the IP address command, which was the same on Linux as well, and yeah, you're basically good to go. Now the next step is actually connecting to a server. How do you do that? Alright, now as we can see on our Windows system, the IP address is 192.168.1.16. So what we're going to do in that case is we're going to go up and pull up the console, and if you can't pull up the console here, I had to say this earlier as well, but you can also go ahead and basically search up console here, and you can also basically check yes here, actually check no, and that's when you're going to be able to actually open up the console afterwards. So what you're going to do is you're going to connect, and you're going to write down the IP address, which is 192.168.1.16, and it's going to be connecting to the server. Now if you connect to the server, one of the bots on that end, because I don't know why it just enabled bots, yeah, it's going to disappear, and you're going to be playing from the opponent side of that other person. Now if you do want to play on the same team, you can always change the team to a team you like more. So yeah, let's see how it goes. By the way, if you've done anything wrong at this point, it's going to be sending you back to the CSGO menu. So be sure to have SVLAN set to 0. That was one of the other issues we had. Like, I was following other guides to actually see how this whole thing worked out, and SVLAN was one of the recommended things. Now, it didn't really work for me, so I do recommend not enabling SVLAN. So if you do have other issues, make sure you follow the guide again to verify that everything you did was correct and in line with what I did, so you can actually play here. So as we can see, if we open up the actual player list, we've got my benchmarking account and my main account in this menu, so yeah, it works pretty fine. We can also go and see and verify that this player is also here, and that's where I'm going to be ending the video. So as we can see, we're a terrorist here. We've got the bomb. We'll just go ahead and see if we can find the other player, which should be in the spawn location for the counter-terrorists. Right, let's go ahead. We're going to be a nuisance to our team here. So yeah, do you see this? This guy? This is my secondary account. Now, you'll see the footage from the other side as well, and it's actually going to die soon. Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. He's dead, and now we can actually go and plant the bomb. So, just like I said, it's a playable experience, and it plays really well if you know what to do. If you followed all these steps, you should be able to play CS2 on LAN and also on community servers at this point. But if for some reason it doesn't work, please tell me down in the comments. I'll try to help as much as I can. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!